Namaskaram. We are in the Anudyuta Parva of Mahabharata. It was a sub-parva of Sabha Parvam. The second major parvam of Mahabharata was Sabha Parvam. In that, Anudyuta Parvam is just what we are about to finish. The second game of dice in which Yudhishthira lost because of, again, Shakuni's cheating, and the term was that the loser should, of course, loses everything he possesses and then should go to the forest. So the Pandavas, the five of them, with Draupadi, they set out to the forest. And Kunti, as per Vidura's directions or insistence, Kunti stayed with Vidura. While leaving, the Pandavas went to the elders, Bhishma, Drona, and Kripa, took their blessings and also bowed before Dhritarashtra. Vidura asked Yudhishthira, told him first of all, giving him courage, you lost only because of cheating. So that there is nothing to lose heart about it. But you have lost, so you have to abide by the terms. But after 12 years and 1 year of Ajnatavasam, that is staying incognito, you shall successfully return and we shall meet then. The time will be favorable to you in all respects. And Vidura said, Swasti. The word Swasti in Sanskrit is so powerful, so auspicious. It's difficult. There is a sukta in Rigveda called Swasti Sukta, which is chanted on all auspicious locations. And it says Swasti for this, Swasti for that. It ends, Swasti Pantham Anujarema Surya Chandramasa Viva. Follow the path, right path, as the sun and moon do. Anyway, the word Swasti is very auspicious. The word itself is auspicious. So Vidura blessed them Swasti. And Kunti blessed Draupadi that she will have no difficulty in the forest, and blessed her. And after they set out to the forest, Dhritarashtra was worried, naturally, because he knew exactly what happened. He knew that what was called victory was simply cheating. So he called Vidura and asked him, how did the Pandavas take it? How did they leave? So Vidura explained that Yudhishthira had covered his face. Bhima had spread his arms and he was looking at his powerful arms. Arjuna had taken sand and he was spraying sand as he was walking. There are similar explanations of how Nagula and Sahadeva also started walking. And to Dhritarashtra's questioning, Vidura explained Yudhishthira covered his face because he was in such a mood that he was afraid if he looked at something, because of the swelling anger within him, the other person might simply burn to death. So much was the anger swelling in him. So he wanted to protect everyone else from his anger. And Bhima was looking at his arm, because these are the hands which are to crush the 100 Kauravas in the war that is sure to take place at the end of these 12 plus 1 years. And Arjuna similarly was throwing sand, imagining the sand particles to be the shower of arrows which he would send continuously every day during the impending war. So he explained, what the Pandavas' action signified, and Pandavas moved and entered the forest which was nearby to Hastinapura. We should remember the first Vanavasa of the Pandavas was after the house of wax from which they escaped. And that was the most vulnerable time for them. We explained that unknown territory, forest, and they were helpless. They had none to depend on. But things have changed now, because now Krishna is on their side. Whether he is with them at that moment or not doesn't matter. He sensed every move of the Pandavas. True, he was not present at the time of game of dice. We will come to that later on. He himself explains. And Krishna is on their side now. And Drupada, after their marriage, Drupada became a formidable ally for the Pandavas. Soon Drona himself would explain. But the danger in the forest remains. They are not used to forest. They have enjoyed the luxury of palace all these years. And the power is in the hands of Duryodhana. He could do anything and nobody would question. And if his envoys, his messengers, his spies detected Pandavas, they could simply annihilate them, and people would come to know much later. By then it will be too late. So the dangers existed, but they had Krishna on their side and the powerful Bhima and Arjuna to protect. And they entered the forest. And at that time it said, in Hastinapura, bad omens appeared again. The usual shooting stars, thunder without cloud, without a cause. Then, evil birds, evil-looking birds, owls, crows, and jackals, they drop meat and bones all over the place in Hastinapura. These are all supposed to be bad omen. And at that time, Narada appeared in Hastinapura and he simply announced that on the 14th year, there is going to be a devastating war, and all the Kauravas will be annihilated, will be destroyed in that war. So saying, he disappeared. He didn't stay on. And the Kauravas got worried, and the only person they could think of to protect them was Drona. They went to Drona and said, Acharya, this entire kingdom, land is yours. Please accept it and please protect us. Then Drona reflected for a moment and said, yes, true that I eat your salt. So my allegiance is to you, and I shall fight for you to the last of my breath. But you should remember that Arjuna is invincible by anyone, including me. Though I am his teacher, I myself can't promise you that I shall win over Arjuna. Then there is an enemy for me. We haven't gone through that story. In Mahabharata, there is a mention of that now, but the story later on will be explained in detail. That when the Pandavas, especially Arjuna, fought against Drupada, defeated him, tied him up, and brought him to Drona as his slave. Drona said, now, look now, now we are equals, because your whole land belongs to me. But I don't want the whole of it. I'll take half of it so that we are equals. That story we have gone through. That hurt Drona very much. So when he was released by Drona, he went and started a yajna, a havan. And in that, he chanted mantras with two purposes. First, he wanted a son to kill Drona, and he wanted a daughter to be married to Arjuna. That daughter was Draupadi, the Panjali, Krishna. And Krishna was born in that Homakunda. She is called Ayonija. She didn't take birth in the mother's womb. And Drishtadyumna, we will come in the war. In the war, he was the sworn enemy, and he fights to the end in the war against Drona. So Drona said, so that is a situation, but nonetheless, I shall fight for you, try my best to protect you. So with that, the Anudyuta Parva also ends, and we are now in the third major Parva, Vana Parva, and their life in the forest, that we shall do next day. Namaskaram.